Okay, so for a while now, I have wanted to change these Lego train switches to be a 45 off the side so that you end up something like this. And I was watching some videos online, and I found one that showed you where to make the cuts. And you can see here that you end up cutting these parts out of the track, and you end up discarding these, and then you take the part from the other side and they line up to where it makes a two-piece curve at a 45-degree angle. And if I lay two curved pieces on there, you'll see they line up, I mean, identically. So I've done these first two. I tried to use this knife. It did not cut very well, so I ended up using my multi-tool. Blade's a little dull. It butchered the plastic. I had to sand it down quite a bit. So before I do these other four, because I want to get 3 sets, I'm going to see if I've got a sharper blade or go pick one up before I get my kid from school. And then I'm going to make, 3 of each side, because I think I'm going to lay out 4 of them on the train yard, and then I want 1 on each end of the layout so I can go straight or do the double curve. So that's what we're going to get to. But yeah, the way this is done, it lines up with a single plate on there, and if you ballast your tracks, that's what you're going to do anyway. You can, lines are not too bad. If I can find a thinner blade, you won't even see them. So I'm happy with this, and it's going to make my train yard a lot easier to lay out. So that's what I'm working on. All right, so got a new blade, got the next piece marked up. We're now going to cut through this one, see if this sharper blade makes a difference. A little tricky getting the parts in the middle. Gotta get the blade started before you can make the cut. And still kind of a rough cut, so we will have to flake off and sand quite a bit. But I don't know, it went a little faster than the duller blade, so I guess it was worth going to the store to get it. So that's one side done. I got 3 of the 6 cuts. I'm gonna cut 3 more, and then we'll lay them out downstairs and see how they look. All right, so I got the 6 switch plates I cut down here, got them all put together the way I want them. I'm now going to try to lay them out in sort of a, see how close they can get to doing like a train yard. So I'm kind of going to lay these out like this and then see how well they do line up with regular track placement on the mills, and see how close we are, see if we need to modify any more track. And of course they don't match up like I was hoping they would, so Now I've got to play around with the extra parts I had left over, and I don't know. Let's see if we can get these lined up a little bit better. All right, so the way this is laying out is definitely not going to line up with a mill system. They do not line up evenly on any of the plates. If we start here, 4N regular double track, we veer off. The first one kind of lines up in the middle almost, but the next one, I don't know. You could force this to work, 4N from the corner of the plate, but the next one's just way off, and then the last one we end up with one of those little flex pieces before we can get it to line up on the outside. So I'm gonna have to work on this. This might take a while. I might end up just kind of laying all this out, just laying it on top of blank base plates and not doing the ballast to the plate, just kind of laying the plates out and then just have the ballast on the bottom of the tracks and just lay it out, and wherever it lays, it lays. No one's gonna know the difference most shows. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna take these parts and work on my corner double turns on the corners of my display. That'll be what I work on next, so that'll be the next part of the video. All right, so we are in the garage. I'm trying to do this 40 radius curb here with 245s and then a crossover in the corner. But something I've been wanting to put together. But these parts we modified, this track does not fit in there perfectly. So we are going to knock off the ends of these parts. So I'm thinking I gotta take good 1/8 of an inch off the end here and the end there, and then the inside of these tracks here, these points also. So I've set up a tool and a clamp. Gonna get me some safety goggles, some earplugs, and then we'll get at it. All right, guys, so I've got 4 R40 curves on here, and then I've got the switch we modified and 2 R40s underneath. And we are lined up all the way to the part where our modified piece is. And it's just not lining up perfectly right in there. And it's causing stress. And I don't know if you can see inside of that knot, but the part we need to connect is down in there on the bottom, and the studs are not lining up. So I've got to modify this a little bit more. There's stress from this point here to there. So from here to there, it's not lining up. The angle of the curve is not exactly the 40 radius curve on there. All right, so I got this figured out. So this, just to show you, this is an official Lego 48 stud, 15-inch base plate. This is 4 pieces of the R40 track. Okay, sitting on there, nice and easy, no stress. Pop these off. Here's the track underneath. So we've got 2 R40s, then the switch we modified, and our modified piece. And it's this right here. So there's no stress. I had to cut another 1/8 of an inch off there and there. This is just, it's not going to line up, but there's no stress here. That's naturally just laying there. That's how it's supposed to be. I just don't think the angle on these is perfect for this modification. So I don't know, I'm gonna plate it, I'm gonna put some stuff around it, try to cover it up with some ballasting and stuff. But yeah, that's how it's gonna end up. It's not gonna be a perfect fit, but we're gonna figure out how to connect it at some point. I might put some jumpers in here. I don't think that's actually a half stud either. So I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. All right, so found my Mills plates and ballast track from the last show. I think we're gonna add on a straight piece off there with that 45 on the outside there. So I've got this worked out, got everything ballast, but I've got this one spot here. It just does not want to sit down flat. So I think it's because of the plates I got on the bottom of the track. I'm trying to figure out a way to make that sit flat so it doesn't derail my trains. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it, but I don't think I'm going to try and ballast the other switches I cut. I think I'm just going to lay them out flat so they just sit on the landscape, not trying to do all this with the studs and attaching the straight piece. All right, guys, well, that's my little journey with making these switches. I'll have to say I regret making 6 of these. I should have just done one set of 2 and saved the other 2 pairs of switches, because I mean, to be honest, I can't use these on a layout right now. I can, you know, they can sit here on the table and when I'm messing around with the trains, but I can't use these on Mills plates. They're just not able to rest on the plate. I'm gonna probably end up gluing the one I built. It doesn't want to stick at all. Put some double-sided tape or something under it. So, lesson learned, but yeah, that's all I've got to share on this one. All right, consider liking and subscribing. We'll catch you on the next video. Later.